element of the new book, and a caution often, is the sort of profound importance of the litter box, from a few different angles, actually. So for example, this is probably all too familiar for those who work or volunteer in shelters, but you point out one section that refusing to use the litter box is the #1 reason cats are given up to shelters. So that alone makes it hugely important, I think. Maybe you could just sort of, talk about, litter box problems, what causes them, and what can be done to either correct them or preemptively avoid them.
It's funny, being in Petco's on this tour, asking people what kind of litter they use and why. It's fascinating to see, well, I don't want something that has dust, or this seems more eco-friendly, or somebody told me to try this one, or this is something new, so I thought I'd see what it was like. I like this thing that had these little crystals that got rid of odor, but they really don't know what they're buying. So let's talk about cats. Cats were desert dwellers. They all derived from this wild African cat, just like all dogs derive from wolves. They're desert dwellers, which means they tend not to drink much water. They don't have a real high thirst drive like humans and dogs do. So that's why drinking fountains, by the way, are very important for cats' overall health. You can buy a drinking fountain for $25 to $50, probably the single best thing you can do for your cat.
And by that, you kind of mostly just mean those bowls where there's just running water.
Yeah, and what you do, the best ones have a water that drips down or pours down. It hits a ramp. A lot of cats like to lick it off the ramp. Some like to just take it right off that what would you call it?
Spigot.
The spigot, yeah. The funny thing, too, about cats, I'm getting a little off topic here, but cats actually don't lap water like dogs do. Dogs curl their tongue and lap it in kind of sloppily. They've done high-speed camera studies, and cats' tongues actually go down and just touch the surface of the water 4 times a second and pull it up, and the mouth closes around that column of water. So the hydrostatic action of that pulls that column of water up, and their tongue actually moves 1 meter per second.
Wow.
So it's incredible speed that they do that with.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the litter box. In the wild, in the desert, you know what? The whole world's your litter box. You scrape up some sand, you go to the bathroom, that takes care of it. But, today's suburban or urban home or apartment, that's a little bit different. So what you want to do is you want to have, first of all, very clean. None of us like to go, they have a great sense of smell. And I always think of some houses, some litter boxes like the Rock Festival or the county fair or something, where you go there and wow, this is rough, but I gotta go. Well, if you're a cat, you might decide, you know what, I don't want to go there. I'll go someplace else. I'll go in the house plant, or I'll go behind the credenza here. So clean is really important. Basically, if you're home, you want to scoop every time they go to the bathroom, just like we flush every time we go to the bathroom. If you're not, as often as you can. Every 2 weeks, you want to dump all the litter out and completely out. Don't just keep, take some out because you're taking the scat out and add a little more. Start over, throw it out, wash out a little soap and water, let it air dry, start over again. Don't use any plastic liners in there. The cats hate plastic. They don't like covers either. They don't like that cover. And they like it big. They want to be able to turn around in there. A lot of little cat boxes are too big. And then as far as the litter, they've done these tests now, and cats prefer clumping clay litter that is unscented or has a little carbon in it. So,
and have they filled out surveys saying so? Or?
What they finally did is they actually had cats where they had these
sort of
preferences for them. So they tested depth, they tested type, and that was by far and away. The second one was recycled newspapers, but number 1 is clumping clay litter that is unscented.
And speaking of unscented, and you touched on this a moment ago, but just one of the many things I found fascinating in your book is that you say at one point that the cats actually have a more precise and stronger sense of smell than dogs, which I thought, wow, you always hear about dogs and their sense of smell. You just don't really get that same sort of sense, about cats. But I thought it's really interesting, and of course it all now hooks together with what you're saying about the litter box.
Yeah, and by the way, the litter box, don't put it in the laundry room. That's one of the places we think, oh, it's clean, it's got a kind of floor, it's big and roomy. You know what? That washing machine dings and dongs, and it bounces up and down, and the spin cycles and everything. You have to have one more litter box than every cat, and you have to have at least one litter box on every level of your house. And I was talking to people on this tour. Every cat household, there's a benevolent dictator, and there's various levels of dictatorship there. There's not one cat, one vote. There's a hierarchy there. And some cats will bully other cats when they go to the bathroom. And if think of your kids, if they were going to school and there was a bully that might beat them up every time they went to the bathroom, I'd either hold it or I might go somewhere else. And that's what the cats will do. So a cat can't guard every litter box. So have enough litter boxes. A great place for one is a guest bathroom. Because typically have the kind of floor you can clean and it's easy to dispose of the stuff there. But you can't have too many litter boxes. And one other thing too, if your cat's not using the litter box or it's inappropriate clawing, because constructive clawing is good. We want them to have a surface where they can stretch, shed their claw sheaths and everything like that. But the edge of the couch, the new armoire, the new TV entertainment center stand, not so good.
Yeah.
Or inter-cat aggression, you get a new cat and they're starting to fight and they're stressed and they're urinating out of stress. There's a pheromone called Feliway. And so it's like feline, F-E-L-I-W-A-Y. And it's a synthetic version of the feline cheek pheromone. So when those cats rub against you or against furniture, they're going, cat good housekeeping seal of approval. Tested, approved, good stuff. Yeah. So this stuff, it goes into the air and it, you don't smell it, dogs don't smell it, only cats smell it. But it literally is like 3 glasses of wine for every cat in a Valium. I mean, they just get along, they use the litter box, they scratch the right things. And in fact, on the cover of the book, you'll notice how relaxed these cats look. And those are 3 different cats from 3 different owners that had never had their photo taken. They're in a photo studio.
Wow.
And look how relaxed they are. You know why?
They're drugged up on Feliway.
Yeah, so what we did is the day before we plugged these diffusers in. They're kind of like a Glade plug-in or a Bath and Waterworks plug-in.
Yeah.
So it was in the air, and then when I practice, or when I took that photo, if I practice, I wear it like cologne. So when I go in there, it is just like going to church. I wear, I like the little old ladies to smell my other cologne, but for those cats, man, I want them to think, man, this guy is the bomb.
This is where we want to be. Yeah. Cool. Well, gosh, we got, not surprisingly, so many folks who want to ask questions, and let's take one here who has actually been holding for